So picture this for a second. Right now, there's an engineer in Brazil and maybe a designer in Japan, right? And they're building the next billion-dollar app together.
Oh, yeah. Happening as we speak.
Right. But neither speaks the other's native tongue. Like, they grew up thousands of miles apart, completely different cultural contexts.
They live different worlds, yeah.
Exactly. So how are they collaborating on this incredibly complex, highly technical code?
Well, they're using, like, the ultimate universal adapter.
You're using English.
Spot on! Welcome to the Deep Dive, everyone. Today, we are looking at a stack of notes on a surprisingly fundamental question, which is, why is it important to learn English?
And, we're looking at this specifically for you, the listener, because you probably already know the basic benefits, right?
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows it's useful.
Right. But we want to understand the hidden mechanics. Like, what actually happens when a global population standardizes a single language?
Okay, let's unpack this. Because millions of people are learning English every single day. It's a massive, massive undertaking for so many people.
Yeah, and the mission of this deep dive today is to figure out exactly why it acts as this sort of ultimate skeleton key for the modern world.
And it really is a skeleton key. I mean, it's the international language.
It really is.
Today, we're going to look at how it impacts literally everything from, just putting food on the table and building a career, all the way to how we experience art and travel and just move through the world.
So before we get into, like, the personal enrichment side of things, let's look at how English functions on a macro global scale.
Yeah, let's start there.
Because the sheer friction of human collaboration is a real problem. Our sources point out that English connects people from completely different cultures and native languages. It's the dominant language of business, of science, of technology.
It really is the baseline.
Right. And it opens doors to international companies, better jobs, and honestly, just higher salaries.
What's fascinating here is the compounding effect this has on a career. Well, it's not just about getting a job, it's like any job. It's about accessing international companies. You're effectively multiplying your career ceiling just by adding this one single communication tool.
I keep coming back to this analogy. It's like a universal travel adapter.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, think about it.
Okay.
You bring your laptop to a foreign country, right?
Mm-hmm.
That machine holds all your power, all your potential, your entire professional life.
All your work is on there, yeah.
But if the wall outlet in that country is a completely different shape, your machine is essentially a brick.
Right, you're stuck.
You literally can't plug your ideas into their system. So English is that plastic adapter. It allows the Brazilian engineer and the Japanese designer to just plug their ideas together and collaborate seamlessly.
And that seamlessness is key. Because companies can't afford the friction of constant translation. They just can't.
I mean, they could use AI, right?
Sure, they try. And AI is great for basic stuff, but high-level collaboration requires nuance. It requires speed and trust.
Yeah, you can't really build deep professional trust through a robotic translator.
Exactly. You might miss a subtle tone in an email or, a slight hesitation in a meeting. So having that shared language protocol, that universal adapter, it removes the barrier entirely.
Which is why international companies explicitly demand it and why they pay more for it.
Right, because if you only speak a localized language, your applicant pool, your potential client base, it's all strictly confined to a specific radius.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It's like your talent is tethered to your zip code.
That's exactly it. Your talent is tethered. But by adding English, you instantly untether your potential. You enter the global market.
You're not just competing in your city anymore.
No, you're competing worldwide.
Yeah.
You're breaking through this invisible geographical ceiling. The whole architecture of your career changes.
Okay, so it changes the architecture of your career. But let's look at the foundation of that career, which is, education, the knowledge base.
Right, the fuel for the career.
Exactly. Because if English is the language of business and science, it makes total sense that it inherently becomes the language of the information that fuels those industries.
Oh, absolutely.
Our sources highlight that learning English gives you access to thousands of books, research papers, online courses, educational videos, everything.
It's the key to the world's library.
And a massive amount of the internet is in English, right?
Right.
Which is essential for learning new skills, reading articles, getting the latest news. Plus, top universities teach in English.
The academic currency of the world, basically.
Right. But okay, let me play devil's advocate here for a second.
Go for it.
Do top universities even matter as much anymore? I mean, we have the entire internet at our fingertips. You can learn anything on YouTube or like specialized forums without ever paying tuition.
That is a very fair point. The formal system is changing, for sure.
Right. So is the university argument kind of obsolete?
Well, here's the thing. It actually reinforces the point about the language itself.
Oh, really?
Because whether you want the formal prestige of like a top university or you're bypassing all that for informal self-taught skills on the internet, English is the gatekeeper to both.
Oh, I see. Because the best open source stuff is also in English.
Exactly. The most valuable cutting-edge information on those decentralized forums, it's aggregated in English.
So you can bypass the university, but you can't bypass the language.
Precisely. And there's another layer to this, too. It's about staying updated.
What do you mean by that? Like keeping up with the news?
Yeah, but think about the lag time. When a major scientific breakthrough happens or a critical software update drops, it is almost exclusively broadcast in English first.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's true.
If you're waiting for someone to translate that research paper or that tech documentation into your native language, you are inherently behind the curve.
You're experiencing reality on a delay.
Exactly. You have this translation lag. And in industries that move at lightning speed, a 3-week wait for a localized article is a massive disadvantage.
That makes so much sense. Understanding English reduces that lag time to absolute zero.
You're hearing the shout in real time, not waiting for the echo.
I love that. Hearing the shout, not the echo. So, okay, we've established that this language untethers your career and gives you real-time access to global education.
That's the professional and digital side, yeah.
But building a career and expanding your mind is great. But life isn't just all work and study, right?
I hope not.
Yeah, so how does this language alter our everyday leisure, our physical movement through the real world?
Well, it shifts your daily quality of life in some really profound ways.
Our sources mention travel specifically. Airports, hotels, restaurants, tourist attractions, they all become so much easier. You can ask for directions and communicate with confidence.
It's the default failsafe for the global hospitality industry.
And entertainment, too. Movies, TV shows, songs, podcasts, books. You can enjoy them without relying on translations.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. If we connect this to the bigger picture of travel, it's not just about utility.
Right. It's not just about, like, finding your gate at the airport.
Exactly. It's about confidence. Navigating a foreign airport without that underlying anxiety, it changes the entire nature of a trip.
I totally agree. When you don't share a common language in a chaotic place, you're just operating in this low-level state of survival mode.
It's exhausting.
It is. You're panicking about being misunderstood or ordering the wrong food or missing a train announcement.
And it drains the joy right out of the vacation.
But when you have English, it shifts from panic to presence. You actually have the mental bandwidth to, strike up a spontaneous conversation with a stranger in Tokyo.
Because you both hold that same skeleton key. You aren't just surviving the logistics, you're actually experiencing the trip.
Which perfectly transitions into the entertainment side of things.
Oh, the unmediated experience of art, yes.
I always compare consuming translated entertainment to, like, looking at a really beautiful, intricate painting through a dirty window.
Oh, that is a great analogy. The shapes are there, but the fidelity is just lost.
Exactly. You get the plot. A subtitle or a dubbed voice actor tells you what happens, but the colors are muted.
You miss the nuance.
Right. You miss the exact comedic timing of a joke because the translated punchline takes, like, 3 extra syllables to deliver.
Or the natural rhythm of a song.
Yes. Learning English lets you wipe that window clean. You experience the art, the jokes, the songs, the games in its raw, intended form.
And that's so important because the emotional impact of a scene is tied to the actor's specific vocal cords, their breath, their pauses.
A dubbed overlay kind of destroys that acoustic reality, doesn't it?
It really does. By understanding the native vocabulary, you bypass the interpreter entirely. You connect directly with the artist's original intent.
It's just a fundamentally different emotional experience.
It is.
So this brings us to an obvious follow-up question.
Okay, what's that?
If the rewards are this massive, career, education, real-time info, confident travel, unfiltered art, why does anyone hesitate?
That is the million-dollar question.
Right. Like we've moved from the benefits to the barriers. What stops people?
Well, according to the sources, it's fear. The fear of making mistakes is entirely natural, but it's a huge psychological roadblock.
Nobody likes feeling foolish, especially adults.
Exactly. As an adult, you're used to being articulate and respected in your native language.
Yeah.
When you start learning a new language, you're suddenly reduced to the communication level of a toddler.
You're stammering, you're using the wrong verbs.
And the adult ego just violently rejects that vulnerability.
But I want to highlight a specific quote from our sources today because I think it's the perfect antidote to that ego check.
Which quote?
Every fluent English speaker was once a beginner.
Oh, yeah. That's a powerful reminder.
It's so simple, but we really need to let that sink in. Fluency isn't like a genetic trait. It's not magic. Every single person who speaks it flawlessly today started out by nervously messing up their grammar.
It's the ultimate equalizer. You just can't give up.
So how do we push through that? What are the best methods the sources recommend?
They break down some really practical daily techniques. Reading a little every day, listening to podcasts, watching videos, learning vocabulary, and speaking whenever possible.
Okay, so total immersion.
Sort of, but it's more about micro habits. The sources emphasize that just 15 to 20 minutes of daily practice makes a massive difference.
Wait, really? Just 15 to 20 minutes?
Yeah. It's not about exhausting yourself with like massive 3-hour grammar study sessions.
That's practically a rounding error in most people's day. I mean, we probably spend more time than that doom scrolling before getting out of bed.
Right. And that's exactly why this method works so well. It leverages the psychology of compounding exposure.
Instead of just relying on willpower.
Exactly, because willpower is finite. If you lock yourself in a room with a textbook for hours, your brain flags it as high-stress work, and eventually you just quit.
But 20 minutes feels doable. It bypasses that threat detection system in your brain.
And you're using enjoyable mediums. They aren't telling you to take standardized tests every day. They're saying, watch a YouTube video or listen to a podcast about a topic you actually care about.
You're just microdosing the language.
I like that. Yes, microdosing the language. And over time, that daily consistency compounds. Your brain naturally starts to recognize patterns and vocabulary in context.
Without you even having to forcefully memorize it.
Right. Short burst consistency is way more effective than sporadic cramming.
Wow. Okay, so what does this all mean? We've covered so much ground today.
We really have.
We've looked at everything from multinational tech companies to international airports to the psychology of the adult ego.
Yeah.
If you had to summarize this for our listener, what are the core takeaways?
Well, if we distill the core pillars, learning English is about expanding your personal agency.
Okay.
It equips you for better career opportunities. It guarantees access to quality global education and technological literacy. It replaces the anxiety of travel with total confidence. And it unlocks global entertainment in its purest form.
It's a multiplier for every other skill you have.
Exactly.
To kind of reiterate our source's ultimate conclusion here, English is way more than just a language you study to pass a test. It's a tool that connects people and creates opportunities for lifelong learning.
And as the source wisely put it, your future self will thank you.
Right. The 15 minutes you invest today pushing through that awkward beginner phase is a direct investment in the person you'll be a decade from now.
And, before we wrap up, I want to leave the listener with a final kind of provocative thought to ponder on their own.
Oh, I love these. Lay it on us.
Well, we've talked so much about how learning English connects you to the external world, right? Global markets, different cultures, vast amounts of information.
The universal adapter.
Right. But consider the internal shift.
What do you mean?
Think about it. If learning English connects you to all these different cultures and information, how does the actual process of thinking in this new second language eventually change the way you see the world? Like when you start processing your own complex problems through the vocabulary and grammar of a completely different language, does that new framework for speaking eventually create a new framework for thinking?
That is wild to think about. It's like you aren't just opening doors in the physical world. You're opening entirely new corridors inside your own mind.
It's a fascinating evolution of the human mind to consider. How does it change your reality?
That is a brilliant thought to end on. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this deep dive. We hope this exploration sparked a new perspective for you, and we really encourage you to lean into the discomfort of being a beginner.
Keep practicing every day.
Yes. Keep pushing forward on your own learning journey. Keep expanding your world. We will catch you next time.